Hey guys, this is Spiner here from AWMN News with my Spinblast Season 1, Episode 13, Strike 3, Penultimate Episode Review. So we are finally at the last two episodes of Spinblast. After we got past Down Trigger, we now have headed to Spinblast. And let me say guys, we took a big step here. I mean, this episode, we got a lot of stuff, in this one. And they managed to fit a lot in the, this episode actually went to an hour, but we got a lot in it. So, a lot of advancement for the story. So, let me start off with, just giving a, rehash of everything that was in this episode. So, for starters, we had the Zenimax going after, major businesses and shutting them down. We also had Anarcho taking some dangerous steps and making some decisions, risky decisions. We had Axel trying to reveal the truth to everybody about what the Zenimax, who they were, and what they were really doing under disguise. And we had Splinter's flashbacks, which these are actually the ones before the finale. So guys, we are heading to the end of the flashbacks as well. This is getting, pretty intense, and, we're really heading to the conclusion of this stuff for this season, and we're really making the circle back around from both ends, from the flashbacks and the present day. So, let's get on with this review. So, I think I'm going to start off with talking about, I think I'll talk about, well, this was a little hard, because everything kind of tied into the end, so, it's hard to talk about a specific topic kind of one at a time, but I think I might talk about the flashbacks first, because, that was kind of, it was linked in, kind of, with what was going on, but I don't have to talk about the other stuff, so, yeah, we'll do the flashbacks first. The flashbacks of this episode, so, what we had this week, we got, the Zenimax having a celebration. For starters, we got a lot of really good moments with the gang here. I really, liked this whole celebration scene with them, getting pizza and, just having a good time for themselves, and because they didn't get to have things like that very often, so, pizza was kind of like a celebration, because it was a rare occurrence. So, I liked this, and, we got a lot of, really good moments with the Zenimax characters in this, with, I can't remember his name. I believe it's Marek, I believe it's Marek, if I'm not wrong. He's the bigger guy. Him and Cyril, I like that moment we had where they were kind of sarcastically talking about fighting each other over the pizza. They may have not been sarcastic, but, I just liked the moment, though. It was a good moment, and we had a lot of really good writing here with, Vantage and Splints. We had some really good moments with them, and, just all the gang. They really showed, this was a big, before I had said in the flashback kid, the gangs had shown off, each of the members had shown off their own personalities, but, this one we really got to see that a lot. They highlighted it. The cast really highlighted it with their characters in this scene, and I liked it. And, moving on from the celebration, that good scene, we had some good performances in there, and some really good writing, but, moving on from that, we had Splints making the decision to go back and talk with his father again. And, I was really surprised that this was going to happen, because I didn't think that Splinter would want to go back after, everything he had done and what had happened last, that he would really, he may want to see his father again. That wasn't what I meant, but he might want to see Anarcho again. But at the same time, with everything that had happened, I think he'd be kind of, it would be a tough decision. And, we saw it was. When he was going to go knock on the door and he turned back, we could tell it was a hard decision for him after, he remembered the whole incident with Highwell and them having the fight, and him running out the door. It was tough for him, and we got to see that, and, I'm kind of glad, because I figured the decision would be hard for him, and we really got to see that it was. Now, we know from the last episode, hold on, sorry about that, we know from the last episode that the next target for the Zenimax group was Embarkek, and that was exactly why they had Splints go after Highwall and get the access codes. So, we knew that was what was going to occur. Now, Splints decides to turn back to the house, and we see that Anarcho has gotten a message that Highwall disappeared, and that the business Embartech is being turned, the ownership is being turned over to him. I mean, this was a surprise. I mean, honestly, I knew that somehow Anarcho was gonna end up getting ownership and having the rights to Embartech and running the business, because we knew that Highwall wasn't in the present day. But I don't know, I didn't expect this to be the reason for why Splinks was going to decide to basically cancel off or at least his side of the break-in and robbery of Embartech. I mean, I didn't really see that coming, and I mean, that was a twist, and it really kind of made the whole reason for Splinks to kind of split sides with the Jamax make a lot more sense, and in the flashbacks. I mean, I just liked that this was kind of direction they turned. It was a really good tie-in, and it made sense. But you do gotta wonder, what did happen to Highwall? Why did he disappear? It's interesting. Definitely theory-worthy. But, you guys can get working on that. So, yeah, I mean, but, moving on from this, I mean, we had one last moment where Splinks went back and was kind of desperate to see if the Dynamax could understand the reason why he would need to basically drop out. And we see him drop his whips on the ground even. I mean, he didn't want to do this. Even with Vertai, kind of desperately asking him to not do this. He didn't want to do that to his father. And, I mean, we saw Vantage get mad out of this. I mean, he got serious. He hit Splinks, and he was just like, if you're not going to help us, then fine, but we're going to do this. And, I mean, this was also a really good scene. I mean, Splinks showed desperation for hoping that they would understand why he couldn't do it. But, I mean, we saw the Dynamax were just, they wanted their ending to be with them being able to go on with a new life. And they didn't want that Splinks taking that from them, or anyone to take that from them. And when Splinks said this, they were not happy, and we saw that clearly. So, I mean, this was also a really good scene, and it had some really good writing, and it was a good... I mean, I knew the Jamax weren't really going to accept it, because I figured that Splinks was going to have to stop them, and that was what caused the present-day conflict with Vertai and such. So, I mean, I knew that they weren't going to end up understanding, but, I mean, it was still a really good scene, and I mean, it was just a really good way to do that. To have it basically where Splinks didn't want to have to rob his father's now owned company by his father. He didn't want to have to rob it, so he couldn't do it, and the Jamax were not pleased because they wanted their new life. So, I mean, this is going to be a really good conclusion. I can tell the flashbacks are going to be great. In next week's episode, in the finale, we are going to get some good stuff with the flashbacks. I can tell from where this is going. And, I mean, what we got this week was really great. I mean, there was a lot of really good moments with the Jamax characters and Splinks, and, I mean, it left us off with an interesting question of why Highball's gone. And, I mean, yeah, so overall flashbacks were really good this week. They did a really good job with those in this Penultimate episode, and now we're heading into the finale one. So we'll see how that ends, how Splinks flashbacks conclude. So moving on from the flashbacks, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about. I think I'm just gonna gradually talk about everything. Honestly, I'll get to things when I get to them, but I'll start off with talking about the start-out scene, and I'll move on to something with Narco. So, I mean, everything was kind of connected here. So, in the start-out, first off, we got a really good starting scene with the first business, the owner closing up, getting ready to go, the workers going home, and when he was there, the scene was Vertide, the Jamax showing up, and Vertide in the chair when he turns around. It was basically, I mean, that was a good moment. I liked it, how they took that kind of a turn. That was just cool. And the whole, scene basically where he said that he shouldn't run because it wouldn't help him at all, and then he goes downstairs, he gets knocked down, and by, man, I keep forgetting his name. Hold on. Mark, yeah. He gets hit down by Mark, and he said like, he told you that you shouldn't run, and or like that running wasn't gonna help him. I mean, that was I like how this went, really. I know I liked how this went. It was a really good way to start it off, and having basically where they realized that the company was robbed before the intro came up. That was just a really good way to do that. I felt like having that first company get attacked was a good way to start off, and it made an intense, it made the continuation intense. So, yeah, that was, we had a really good, start out right there, and we had some really good writing with, Vertag's character, and the Zamax, period. So, well, yeah, pretty much all the characters in that season, that scene, honestly, with even the shop owner and workers and such. So, yeah, we had some really good scenes right there. Acting-wise, it was a cool, really cool start out. It built the intensity, and yeah, we had some good writing. It was a good start out. It was a good scene, and I like how they started this story off with having intense scene, as such. So, moving on. We realized that we see a scene. For start, I want to talk about this a little bit. We see a scene with Splint where he talks to Zentis. For one, we hadn't seen that in a while, and it was pretty cool to get to see him talk to Zentis again. I don't remember the last time we actually saw Splint speak with Zentis. But it was pretty cool to get to see that again, because we actually haven't seen the two communicate in a long time. And that was just pretty cool. And we had a good scene of kind of Splint realizing that this was what Zamax doing. He could tell by what they told him about what had happened, that the building was empty, that the owner had been kidnapped. Splint knew what was going on right off the bat. Didn't take him even a second to think about it. So, yeah, that was a pretty good scene with Officer Zentis and Splint. More good writing in there. Now I'm gonna move on to a bit with Anarcho. I might actually talk about Anarcho's story, status story in this episode real quick, actually. Yeah, I believe it's just 2 scenes. So, for starters, we had a scene where, after Anarcho had learned about what had happened with Navis, that he was gone, Anarcho knew it had something to do with Vertag, and that was when he called him. They came in, they had a talk. I liked it. Let me say, I was really happy with this scene. I liked it that we got a moment where Anarcho stepped back and realized that with what Splint had said to him, and what Navis had said to him before leaving, that he realized with his actions and such that he was turning into his father Highwell, and that he was turning into a criminal. And I wanted to see a moment where he realized this, and this was a really great spot for that. The continuation, the second talk they had was, also even better. But this one with Navis, we could tell, this was actually a scene where Anarcho really didn't feel like messing around. We could tell in this talk that he wanted to know where Vertag had taken Navis, and because the two had been friends, and we clearly got to see that Anarcho did care about Navis, and he didn't want him getting hurt. We could tell, and the actor did a really good job at showing that. But Anarcho really was getting serious at this. He really did want to know if Navis was alright, and Vertag says he is, that he's in good hands, but, you never know fully entirely with Vertag. But, then we were left off kind of a moment of Vertag basically saying that they do things their way, and Anarcho does things his way, and that was their deal. And, she said that basically he could the whole deal was still up because of Anarcho's decision. That kind of made me think, like, okay, well, is this leading into him actually deciding maybe to split ways with Vertag? And, yes, in the second talk they have, he calls him back, and he realizes, before this, we see basically that he comes to the realization that he has been a criminal, and that he's done with, doing this. He doesn't want to put his friends and family in danger any longer. That he wanted to draw Splint and him with a closer relationship, and that he had been basically crushing that with this. And just because of the wanting his business to stay alive and to keep the company going. And we see him truly bring that out in this, that he really is regretting what he's had to do and what he's done just to keep his building operating. So, I really liked this moment, this scene that we had right here with Narco. I mean, we really saw him actually realizing what he was doing and what he had done. And, I mean, when he decided to actually make the decision of saying that their deal was done, I was cringing in a, fear for Narco's sake. I mean, you don't tell Vertag no. I mean, it's almost like you don't. But then I realized I came to realize the realization that they were targeting businesses in the way they did in the flashbacks, and that made me realize the last one they were gonna hit was Envartech. So that made me think, okay, wait a minute, I'm kind of seeing what's going on here. And it turns out that when he said the deal was over, Vertag laughs and just reveals that he knew this was gonna happen. Which I totally began to expect that Vertag would have known. And he did. He knew Narco was going to do it at some point. He said he was surprised that he gone this long without doing it. But this was the plan all along, to get Narco out of the way. And we see that he brings Narco into the elevator. I mean, he gets more serious with Narco at this point. They've done their business, and Narco's basically just another pawn in the game now. In the Zenimax game with Splints and MCAT City. So, I mean, we see him take him down, and we realize that what they wanted, part of what they wanted, was an underground operation in Envartech. We see below all the business owners. I mean, we see him, Vertag, basically, knock down, kind of beat up a Narco a little bit, because he's gonna hold a gun at it. He's holding a gun at him. For starters, in the elevator, he holds a gun at Vertag, and we knew both. I'm pretty sure everyone knew that Narco wasn't gonna be able to do anything to him with that, and we see that clearly. He knocks the gun out of his hand and just beats him down, and we see as Narco is basically drifting into an unconsciousness, he sees Navis and all the business owners in this underground area, and he saw that they were storing weapons and such in this underground room in Envartech, and that's what they needed. This is what it was for, and that's where they were taking everybody. And, I mean, this was a really big twist. I mean, I really didn't see this coming in this episode. I mean, this was the penultimate, so, I mean, I guess that was right. It definitely the place to put it. But I just didn't see it coming. And, I mean, I kind of thought this would be finale stuff, not penultimate. But, I mean, here we got this, and this really left me surprised and shocked. And I mean, overall, the two talks we got with Vertag and Narco were really good. They were really well done, really great writing, really fantastic character performances from both Vertag and Narco's ends, and it was just a really good side to the story. I was glad to see that Narco actually took realization that he was becoming like Highwall, and that he was becoming a criminal through what he'd been doing, and that he was tearing Splint and his relationship apart instead of pulling them back together like his plan was. So, overall, Narco had a story, really interesting, great writing and cast performances. It was really good this week, and definitely a big twist at the end when we realized what was truly going on. I mean, that was a really good setup for the season right there. With Envartech really being kind of the end game and them bringing him down in the end. So, yeah, I mean, and moving back on to Splints, I mean, well, I'm going to go and talk about Axel, because the last bit we're going to have is Splints after this. So, I'll kind of just talk about everything Splints did. So, leading up to the end. So, Axel, what we got with him this week, he got out of the hospital from his previous injuries in the Careers crossover, and he was back at the news telling his boss that they needed to get the Zenimax truth out onto the papers, what he knew about them. He needed to get it out on the papers, and he needed to get the truth out to everyone so that they could warn people. And, I mean, at first, I kind of thought in the end that this wasn't going to go his way, and it didn't. His boss declined it because he was saying that this wasn't their business, this was for the SWAT, the police, the FBI, or whoever, and that they were just a news printing building, and they weren't for this kind of business. And, I mean, this, we had a good scene right here with, Axel and his boss. This was a good scene, more good character cast performances from Axel and his boss, and it was just a good scene between the two characters. And once Axel realized that his boss wasn't gonna do it, I mean, we saw his boss trying to understand Axel. I mean, we saw he knows Axel is a good worker, and he also realized the fact that, I mean, he wanted to help out Axel. He didn't want to have to fire him, and he said that even. But he was gonna have to if he kept getting stuck up in this Xamax business. And it was a good scene right here. That Axel, even though he could risk getting fired and such, that Axel was still determined to get the truth out about Splinks, the MTech Vigilante, Spinblast, and the Xamax, so they could warn people back. So, I mean, this led into Axel going out into the streets and following some Xamax members that he managed to find while going to the city that I think he was looking for him, so that he could. And he winds up in a meeting. He managed to just get some clothes from one of the guys, knock one of them out, get some clothes from one of the guys, and get into the meeting that the Xamax were holding that night. And he sees the armory they have built, and that the Xamax army they had built that Vertide had made, and that he heard from Vertide that they were going to take over Amtech City tonight, and today was the night, the hours that they were going to stand up and take over Amtech City. And Axel managed to catch this on his camera, was hiding behind some of the armory shelves when no one was paying attention. But I mean, at first I thought he was out in the open, and I kind of was like, okay, like, how are they not seeing him holding up his phone and taking video of this? But we realized he actually did hide, and that movie made sense because everyone would have been focused on Vertide, and Vertide probably was focused on his speech and the plan. So yeah, but and also later on, we realized that this wouldn't have been even if somebody had noticed that Vertide probably wouldn't have even stopped him. So after he catches this, he goes back to his boss. And Marek is there, and the Xamax come in. He tells Axel to get out of the building, and we don't really know why he's telling him that they need to hurry and get the footage out on his phone. And his boss is telling him to get out. We didn't really know what was going on here, and we realized the Xamax come in. Marek comes in, and Marek beats them both down. Both his boss and Axel grabs a hammer. That must have hurt. And brings them both down, and we realize, well, I'm gonna go back into Splinter's side. I'm gonna go skip a little back and go back to Splinter's side. I'm gonna talk about that, heading up to this moment. So, before, while this was going, Axel was investigating and such, both Splint and Jace learn of what had happened, and they head out to the streets. For one, we had a cool moment of them going out. Splints were swinging across, like, light poles and stuff in the streets with yo-yos and, doing parkour, and we saw Jace jumping across buildings. That was a pretty cool moment. It was a really cool scene right there. I liked it that we got that. There's always make it, more cool. So, yeah, I liked that scene. It was pretty awesome. But, continuing on, I mean, we see that another business, he knew of the next place the Xamax were going to attack because he discovered with Jace that they were following the pattern they did in the flashbacks, and so he knew where they were going next after they had attacked the first building. So they headed there, and Splints jumps through the window. Another cool moment with Jace, and they tell everybody to get out of the building as the Xamax men come in, and the owner runs off, is going down the stairs, and he runs into a Xamax member who is gonna take him, and we see Splints come down there, and the Xamax are saying that they're gonna get what they want anyways, and that Splints is not gonna be able to stop them. And I mean, we had a good moment right here between them on the enemy side and Splint's side. That's something they've been doing really well with, is keeping I'm trying to think of the word. The tensity between, I think that's the word I'm looking for. The tensity, between the kind of the good guy side and the bad guy side. They've been doing really good with those moments. And, when Splinks pulled him back and said that he was gonna have to go through him, and they were just like acknowledging that, and then, excuse me, sorry, trying to take a breath, and Jace jumps in, and that was a really cool moment. Like what he said right there, like were you counting on me? And he comes in and takes out some of the guys with Splinks. They're fighting these guys. Really, it was a really cool moment right here. We got some really cool choreography with Jace and Splinks. Splinks was using a lot of his yo-yo combinations. We got the razor ones. We got the exploding yo-yos, and we got Jace using his guns in combination of combat. So, that was a really cool moment, really great choreography there, and that was a pretty epic battle for starters of the episode, because that was the first battle we actually had gotten up until now. So, yeah, that was really cool, and we got to see Splinks. Splinks was not in the mood to fiddle around right now. We saw Splinks get really mad at this guy, toss him around. He even sliced him a couple times with his razor yo-yo. He wanted to know what the Gammax were doing, and why they were attacking now, and basically every detail of kind of what the Gammax had been up to at this moment, and what they were doing with these businesses, and why they were shutting them down. And we have a moment where this guy's actually just going through it and letting Splinks do it, because we realized after, we really saw Splinks here, that he said that this was just Splinks he knew. This was Splinks using some of his flashback self, if you want to like this, his past self, bringing some of his past self when he wanted to know what he wanted to know. And, there was more really good performances right here from all the characters in these scenes. And, once he actually explained it, because he said that he figured that the Gammax guy, he said he figured that Vertide would want him to know by now, that they had, like Axel had seen from the meeting Vertide had set up, that they had spread out through the city, and that they were going to take it for themselves tonight, and Splinks realized that, and he also realized that Anarcho, his father, was upon it, and we even saw that even the Gammax guy even mentioned him. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he mentioned Anarcho too, and that made Splinks realize that Envirotech was a part of the plan for Vertide all along. And this led to Splinks going out after Vertide, and he got to the building, and this is where we see Splinks, really angry. We got to see the actor put up a really great job at showing this, and we got to see him as mad as could be, and he wanted to know where his father was. In that one, like, where is my father, he said, you could tell all the really serious anger in Splinks' voice that he wanted to know. He was done with Vertide's games. And we saw, this was a really, once again, really good moment between Splinks and Vertide. We've had a lot of those, and they've been doing, the cast and the studio, everyone has been doing a fantastic job with bringing these moments with Splinks and Vertide. They're always intense, and, epic. And the battle we got, when Splinks went at him and they fought, this was a really intense battle, and Splinks actually seemed like he was having more of a chance this time. It was probably because of how angry he was with everything Vertide had been doing right now, and what he realized was happening in Amtech City. Because, moving back over to Axel for a moment, we realized that the reason they came in, and Axel said he was going to reveal the footage to everyone and let them know what the Gammax were doing, and that moment we realized it wasn't going to matter, and Mark said it, that they were going to show themselves tonight. So Axel didn't need to put it out there, because this was the night that the Gammax was going to be revealed to the public, and to everyone in Amtech City. So, this was really, a really big play for the Gammax. They had they had Axel down, and the news down. They had Axel now. They brought down Anarcho. They had him trapped in their under Envartech in that room with all the other business owners, and we get while Splints is fighting Vertide, we realize that Splints gets shot, and I thought, okay, one of the Zamax guys shot him, but then we realized it was not the Zamax, it was Jace, and I mean, when this happened, I was like, really? Wow, another betrayal. I mean, I was shocked by this. I mean, I really had thought that Jace was on Splints' side, but we realized that Jace, I mean, we heard from the director himself that Jace was not a hero or a villain. He's kind of like an anti-hero. And that was the thing here. Jace wasn't helping Splints, but he wasn't helping Vertide either. He was doing this all for his agency. We learned that they had some kind of a partnership. And we see that Splints is angry. He's wondering why Jace is doing it, and we get that explanation. And I mean, I was really stunned by this. I really didn't see this coming. With Jace aiding the Zamax, I didn't think they were part of the plan. But I mean, we really did see here. I mean, they had Excel. They had Anarcho. We learned that they've had men. The Zamax have had guys everywhere in every business all along. They had taken place as workers in every business, police, companies, everything. And that the police and Officer Ensis were heading into a trap right now. At the moment Vertide was talking to Splints, they had the police heading to a trap. They had Axel. They had a narco. Jace betrayed him. I mean, we really did see that Vertide was had the winning cards right now. I mean, he was taking what he wanted, and he was taking his vengeance against Splints, and we really saw that Splints couldn't do anything about it right now. I mean, Amtech City was going down, and I mean, I was like, okay, wow, I didn't expect Amtech City to go down this fast in this penultimate episode. I kind of thought that was what the finale was going to be about. This was going to be about them taking some businesses down, and then the next episode was going to be their big march into Amtech City, showing themselves and trying to take over. But no, we got that in this one, and they even captured Splints and took him down with his father. So, Amtech City belongs to the Zamax now. Everybody's trapped. Well, I mean, where's this going? I mean, I'm like stunned. And, I mean, one thing I want to mention also is the moment with Jace and Vertide. That moment we had right there, we clearly saw that Jace, it's because Vertide decided to close their deal as well. We got two closed deals. Arnaldo closed his deal with him, and then he closed his deal with this agency. So, two closed deals. But we see Vertide close the deal with his agency as well, and we see Jace said they will not be happy about this. Standing completely, basically completely, calm in the face of Vertide. And, I mean, we can see that Jace isn't worried. So, this agency, whoever they are, they must be pretty powerful. But we also saw from this side that Vertide was not worried, and I mean, he even said, I mean, I liked